Hi and welcome back to Programming with R and Matlab. My name is Ian and I'm a finance teaching assistant at Stockholm Business School. Today we continue our coding in R video and we are going to do a moving average filtering. But before doing this, I would like to make a small change to our general algorithm. Let's create one big matrix and call it our portfolio, and this matrix is going to have maximum 10 columns and it will have such number of rows which will be equal to the total time periods. And let's say that if at some specific point of time we hold a specific stock, then we just copy the ID of the stock from a general matrix into our portfolio matrix. If we hold less than 10 stocks, instead of putting some identifier, we put in 0. The reason for this is that there is no 0 column or 0 row. And this is how our portfolio may look like. So let's say time period 1, we hold stock which has ID number 10, and for example at time 4 we do not hold any stocks at all, and at time 3 we had only 8 stocks. So now we are going to work on our moving average rule, and we need to apply the moving average for every stock, and we want to apply it for every time period. But before doing this, we need actually to calculate the moving averages. Let's go to our code. So we're going to stock data over here, and we're going to create a new function for this. We're going to call it getMA. So usually here you write your input variables. We do not know them yet. We will specify them later. And we would like to create a function which will have a name getMA, and we'll call it function. And then we're going to specify in the brackets what we would like to get in. So we would like to get in prices. We would like to give it the number of days we want to calculate our moving average for, and also we would like to put in the total number of times, or total number of time periods. Afterwards we would like to create an empty vector where we're going to store MA, our moving averages. So it's going to be MA vector, and then here you write mode. So in mode you specify what type of information are you going to store here. By default it's logical, so it's either 0 or 1, but we want it to be numeric values, so we just type numeric. And then we need to specify the length, so how many rows we would like to have in there, and it's going to be the total number of our time, noon time. Now we want to calculate moving averages for each time period, if it is possible. Obviously it's not possible because we're going to set number of days to be equal to 50. So obviously it's not going to be possible to calculate the moving average for the time period 39 because we don't have enough data for this. So to deal with this issue, we're going to say that this timer, so that the time we're going to calculate our moving average from, it will start from number of days and will last up to number of time. And then again you need to specify where you start and end your code. This is the code start, this is the code end, and we're going to say that a specific point of time, ID time. Yeah, I'm not using time and I'm using ID time because there is a function time, so it's better not to use the same name for function and for variable because it will confuse R and you will get endless amount of errors. And we would like to put in mean, which is calculating the average, and then we would like to calculate the average of prices starting from, so right now it's ID time, and we would like to get back for last 50 days, like from last number of days, and it's better to include it into brackets, and then you press then you would like to specify until what time you would like to calculate these prices, and use ID time. So it takes you back 50 days 50 days back from here, or whatever number of days you specify for, and then it extracts pretty much this small array from general prices factor. But also you would like to say that, okay, but if we would just try to think over how the computer will run this loop, it will say ID time equal to the number of days, and then here, instead of writing number of days, it would be ID time, and it will be 0. But wait, you told us that that there is no 0 column or 0 vector. How are we going to solve this? Well, pretty easily. You just add 1 in here, and then if you think over the loop going, it will assign number of days plus 1 into our variable ID time, so that pretty much instead of writing ID time here, you can write number of days plus 1, and it will be from 1 to the number of days plus 1. So it's pretty okay. And then it will change this ID time value from starting from this number up to the total number of time. After it has calculated the moving averages, we would like the function to return it as its output, and we write return, and we write what we would like it to return. We would like it to return MA. That's it. So we have calculated now moving averages, and let's get back to our slides. Here we see that from the basics videos you can recall this picture when we were discussing how we're going to apply the moving average rule using our if then else construction. So we're going to say if the price is more than equal to the 50-day moving average, then we include in the stock, otherwise we are not, and then we're passing this list to the Sharpe ratio filtering. Let's do it. We're going to our main. So here we have to apply it for every stock. Apply moving average for every stock. So if it is every, each, so it means for loop, and we're going to use ID as an identifier of a stock, and we would like it to change from 1 to the total number of stocks. But as you can see here, we haven't specified total number of stocks. What we haven't specified is the general database. So we would like to find this total number of stocks. So new stock, and let's say that we are specifying total number of stocks. So for this we would like to use length command, which says how many elements you're going to have in the list, and our stock data is actually a list of the elements. So then we're just writing stock data in here, and also once we are specifying the variables, we also would like to specify how many time data points we do have. So specify total number of time data points. So we'll call it mean time, similar as we use in here, and is going to be the total number of row in stock data. And let's select 1. Why? Because it is it doesn't matter what we actually write here, because we have the same amount of data points for each stock. And we're going to select prices. So next we would like, so now we can actually write the code for our loop, and then we just want to apply if then else rule. So if our stock data, so now we're writing ID because we would like it to be changing, then applying for each stock. If the stock data prices at a specific point of time is more or equal to stock data ID moving average at a specific point of time, then did we close all the parentheses? Yes. Then you need to specify here what you want to do. Let's just comment it right now that add stock else do not add stock. And let's create just for now a small temporary matrix for portfolio, which will store the stocks which have the buying rule but are not sorted, but are not applied the Sharpe ratio, and the train ratio is not applied yet, and we'll call it tempport. And this is going to be our vector which has numeric values, and it's numeric, and then we also would like to set the length to be equal to the total number of time periods. Oh, excuse me, not total number of stocks, because why we're doing it like in this manner, because we want it to IDs to be in the same order as we have them in the total stock data matrix, our stock database. It would be much easier to refer to them and then to arrange the rest of the data in the way that is easily trackable. So then we can just write, we can then refer to the specific stock by its ID, and let's say if we're including it, we're saying that the value would be equal to 1, otherwise it would be equal to 0. And after running this loop, it will give us a temporary portfolio that a specific point of time which has ones for stocks which have the buying signal and zeros which do not. Okay, so we already have done this. Now we would like to do it for every time point. Well, every time point, it means we need to apply loop for every time point. For ID time in 1 to the number of time, we would like to do the following things. So we will delete this, and then we would like to specify what we would like to repeat. And we would like to repeat this whole code, and we'll just put bracket over here so that we're closing. So starting from here, ending up here, you would like to repeat this script, this portion of code, for all time period. Okay, so we have done this. Now let's take a look how it works. For this, put your pointer here, then press run, so it updates our source file, low stock data, because we have made changes to it. Now we'd like to run the code. Okay, so something is wrong in here, no time. Oh, yeah, remember that I said that we're going to specify the input data? Well, we forgot it. I obviously forgot it. So now let's specify it and take a look at what do we have here. We would like to add pretty much this variable as our prices, so let's just copy it and we would like to specify the number of days, which are 50, and the total number of time, which is going to be equal number of time. Okay, after you have done some corrections to this code, you need to again use source so that it updates it in the system. And then when you run it, yeah, it has already run. Then you just can run everything else. And as you can see here, you can always see which one is the value of it. So now number of stocks is equal to the 254, and that number of time is equal to null. It means that there is something wrong. Well, maybe it's because we're using n row. Let's use length instead. And now you don't need to reload everything else. You just can rerun this line. Yeah, now it has 523. And now we're creating the portfolio. It has zeros as an input. Then you can just select it like this and press run. Okay. Operator is invalid for atomic. Oh, yeah. And you can see that I made an error in here. So I shouldn't have written ID. I should have closed these brackets over here and then just get rid of them. Then save it. Now we have something. Okay, one more bracket. Then do we have any more? So this one is closed, this one is closed. Okay. Yeah, now it is run. And our temporary portfolio, as you can see, now it has not only zeros, it has changed, it is 1, 1, 0. So it shows all the stocks. So for example, this one, it means that our OMX 30 has a buy signal. The second one, I don't remember which stocks goes the second one, and so on. So you see how it works, and you see that even if you have some mistakes and errors in your original code, it's okay. You can always change it. It's of course will take some time, but then you don't need to redo it manually for so many times. So today we finished the second logical block, and also we finished the general loop, because we can now write it, or the next block we can just write them inside our big loop where we are applying it for each time point, because this and these two things are going to be applied for each time point afterwards. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please press here to play next video. Take care. Goodbye.